In the rugged, windswept lands of Sogdiana, a region known for its fierce warriors and stark beauty, a girl named Apama was born into a world of conflict and defiance. Her father was Spitamenes, a powerful Sogdian warlord, whose name was whispered with a mixture of fear and reverence across the eastern satrapies of the Persian Empire. Apama grew up not in the gentle confines of a palace, but in the harsh reality of a mobile military camp. Her lullaby is the distant sounds of men training for war. She learned the resilience of the desert flower, blooming in adversity, and the sharp intelligence of a leader's daughter, always watching, always learning. The world she knew was thrown into chaos by the arrival of a formidable force from the west, led by a king named Alexander. Spitamenes, her father, rose as a principal leader of the resistance, fighting with cunning and ferocity against the seemingly invincible Macedonian conqueror. For years, the war raged, a brutal and unforgiving conflict that scarred the land and its people. Apama witnessed the cost of this resistance firsthand, understanding the deep-seated pride of her people and the heavy price of freedom. But the tide of war eventually turned, and with the death of her heroic father, Apama's world was shattered and reshaped. She, along with other highborn women of the defeated territories, became a valuable captive, a pawn in the grand political chess game of the new Hellenistic age. Her journey took her far from the familiar landscapes of her homeland, leading her towards the heart of the collapsing Persian Empire. In the year 324 BC, she arrived in the ancient city of Susa, a place of legendary opulence and staggering power. Alexander, in a masterstroke of political theater, had orchestrated a mass wedding, intending to unite the bloodlines of his Macedonian officers with the Persian and Eastern nobility. It was here, amidst a sea of strangers and the glitter of a foreign court, that Apama was presented to her assigned husband. Her groom was Seleucus, one of Alexander's most formidable and trusted generals, a man known for his physical strength and steady command. He was older, a veteran of countless battles, his face a testament to a life of relentless campaigning from Greece to India. Apama, the daughter of Alexander's enemy, was now bound to one of his closest companions. The union was a political calculation, a symbol of a new, blended empire that Alexander dreamed of creating. For Apama, it must have been a moment of profound uncertainty, her fate now tied to a man from a culture that had destroyed her own. Yet something unexpected began to grow between the Sogdian princess and the Macedonian general. The sudden death of Alexander in Babylon in 323 BC plunged the known world into a new era of chaos and brutal warfare. The fragile unity of the empire shattered as Alexander's generals, the Diadochi, began to carve out kingdoms for themselves. In the ensuing turmoil, most of the Macedonian officers divorced their Susa wives, discarding the forced symbols of a now-dead king's policy. Seleucus, however, made a different choice, a decision that would echo through history. He chose to honor his marriage to Apama, keeping her by his side not as a political token, but as his wife and partner. This act was a profound statement of personal affection and sharp political acumen. It signaled to the vast eastern provinces that Seleucus was not merely another foreign conqueror, but a ruler who respected their people. Apama's presence at his side helped to legitimize his claim in the eyes of the millions of non-Greeks he sought to rule. She was the living bridge between the Hellenistic West and the ancient cultures of the East. During the brutal wars of the Diadochi, Apama endured years of uncertainty, moving with Seleucus as his fortunes rose and fell. She experienced the precarious life of a contender's wife, where victory meant a kingdom and defeat meant death or exile. In these formative years, their bond deepened, forged in the crucible of shared danger and ambition. Around this time, Apama gave Seleucus what he needed most: an heir. Their son, Antiochus, was born of two worlds, a symbol of the new dynasty they hoped to build. His birth secured the succession and provided a powerful focal point for the loyalty of their followers. Apama, now a mother, took on the critical role of raising a future king. She would ensure he understood both his Macedonian father's heritage and his Sogdian mother's roots. In 312 BC, Seleucus decisively captured Babylon, an event that marked the official founding of the Seleucid Empire. From this point forward, Apama was no longer just a general's wife. She was a founding queen. Her court in the new capital, Seleucia on the Tigris, became a center of this new, blended culture. She navigated the complex politics of the court with grace and intelligence, earning the respect of the powerful men who surrounded her husband. Her counsel was valued by Seleucus, who saw her not just as the mother of his heir, but as a wise and trustworthy advisor. She championed the integration of local elites into the administration of the new empire, fostering stability and cooperation. Her influence was subtle but pervasive, shaping the very character of the nascent Seleucid state. As Seleucus expanded his empire, stretching from the Aegean Sea to the borders of India, Apama's stature grew with it. To honor his beloved wife and queen, Seleucus began a tradition that would immortalize her name across his vast domain. He founded a series of magnificent cities and named them Apamea in her honor. The most famous of these, Apamea on the Orontes River in Syria, would become one of the great metropolises of the Hellenistic world. Another Apamea was founded in Mesopotamia, a vital link on the Euphrates River. A third Apamea rose in Media, securing a crucial trade route and military position. These cities were not mere vanity projects. They were vital centers of commerce, military power, and cultural dissemination. For Apama, saying her name etched onto the landscape of the empire must have been a profound vindication. The daughter of a defeated warlord was now a queen whose name would be remembered for centuries. Her legacy was cemented not just in stone and mortar, but in the very fabric of the dynasty. Around 300 BC, Seleucus, for political reasons, took a second wife, the young and beautiful Stratonus, daughter of another powerful diadoch, Demetrius Poliorcetes. This could have been a moment of humiliation for Apama, the elder, foreign-born queen. Yet, the sources suggest that Apama retained her high status and the unwavering respect of Seleucus. She remained the matriarch of the dynasty, the mother of the heir, a position no political marriage could undermine. Her story took another strange turn when her son, Antiochus, fell deeply and dangerously in love with his young stepmother, Stratonise. Wasting away from lovesickness, the heir's life was in peril, a crisis for the empire. In an extraordinary act of sacrifice and political pragmatism, Seleucus divorced Stratonus and gave her in marriage to his own son to save his life and secure the dynasty. Throughout this bizarre family drama, Apama's position as the founding queen and mother of the king-to-be remained unassailable. She had already given the empire its future, and her legacy was secure. The exact year of Apama's death is not recorded by history, a quiet end for a woman whose life was anything but. She likely passed away peacefully, having lived to see her husband as one of the most powerful men in the world, and her son as his undisputed heir. Her legacy, however, was anything but quiet. She was the ancestral mother of a dynasty that would rule for over 2 centuries, a line of kings and queens who carried her blood. Her marriage to Seleucus, set a precedent for the fusion of cultures that became a hallmark of the Hellenistic age. Unlike the Ptolemies in Egypt, who largely remained separate from the native population, the Seleucids, following Apama's example, integrated more deeply. The cities of Apamea thrived for centuries, carrying her Sogdian name through the Roman and Byzantine eras. Apama's story is a testament to the extraordinary journey of a woman caught between worlds. She began as a spoil of war, a daughter of a defeated enemy. She ended as a revered queen and the matriarch of an empire. Her life demonstrated that love and respect could grow from the ashes of political convenience. She proved that a barbarian woman could become one of the most influential figures of her time. Her children and grandchildren would continue to shape the destiny of the Near East for generations. The blood of Spitamenes, the great rebel, flowed through the veins of Hellenistic kings. Apama's legacy was not one of conquest or battle, but of unity, endurance, and creation. She was the quiet foundation upon which a great and noisy empire was built. In the grand narrative of Alexander's successes, dominated by ambitious men and their bloody wars, the story of Queen Apama offers a different perspective. It is a story of survival, adaptation, and the enduring power of a queen who bridged east and west. Her journey from a Sogdian camp to a Hellenistic throne was nothing short of epic. She was a key figure in one of history's greatest experiments in cultural fusion. The choice of Seleucus to keep her as his wife was a pivotal moment for his future empire. It demonstrated a wisdom that went beyond the battlefield. Apama's presence humanized his rule in the eyes of his eastern subjects. She was a constant reminder of the diverse fabric of the empire. Her son, Antiochus I, would be known as Soter, the Savior, a title earned in part due to the stable foundation his parents built. Apama's influence extended to her daughters as well, who were married into other powerful Hellenistic dynasties. Through them, her bloodline spread even further across the Hellenistic world. The naming of the Apamea cities was a public declaration of love and partnership, rare among the Diadochi. It elevated her to a status comparable to the divine honors some rulers claimed for themselves. She was, in essence, the first mother of the Seleucid nation. Her story counters the often-told narrative of passive Eastern women in the Hellenistic era. She was an active participant in the creation of a new world order. Her intelligence and adaptability were her greatest assets. She learned the Greek language and its customs without abandoning her own heritage. This duality made her the perfect queen for a dual-natured empire. The loyalty she inspired in the eastern satrapies was a crucial factor in the empire's early stability. While Seleucus fought wars, Apama helped to win the peace. Her legacy is a reminder that empires are built not only with swords, but with bridges. She was a diplomat in a world of generals. Her influence ensured the Seleucid Empire was more than just a military occupation. It became a living, breathing entity with a unique, hybrid culture. The story of Apama is a story of transformation, both personal and political. She was the Sogdian princess who became the grandmother of the Hellenistic Near East. Her name, carried by the great cities, outlasted the empire itself. She was a survivor of a brutal war who rose to the pinnacle of power. Her life was a testament to the unpredictable currents of history. She navigated the treacherous waters of court politics with unerring skill. Her relationship with Seleucus evolved from a political contract to a genuine partnership. This partnership became the bedrock of their dynasty. She was a patron of the arts and sciences, fostering a climate of intellectual curiosity. Her court was a place where different traditions could meet and enrich one another. The education of her son, Antiochus, was her most critical project. She ensured he was prepared to rule a diverse and complex empire. Her foresight prevented the cultural alienation that plagued other Hellenistic kingdoms. The name Apama became a recurring one in the Seleucid royal family, a tribute to her importance. She was a woman who did not just witness history, but actively shaped it. Her story is a vital chapter in the history of the Hellenistic world. She was the link that held the fragile new empire together in its earliest days. Her quiet strength was the perfect complement to Seleucus's military might. She provided the stability and continuity that allowed the dynasty to take root. The legacy of Queen Apama is the story of how a forced marriage forged an empire. She was a force of cohesion in an age of fragmentation. Her understanding of Eastern cultures was an invaluable asset to Seleucus. She was a queen who ruled not by decree, but by influence and example. The cities named Apamas were beacons of Hellenism in the East, yet they bore her Persian-rooted name. This paradox perfectly encapsulated the nature of the Seleucid Empire. Apama's life was a journey from the periphery of the world to its very center. She was the constant star in Seleucus's tumultuous political sky. Her story is a powerful reminder of the role women played in forging the ancient world. Though her voice is silent in the historical records, her actions resound through the centuries.